I don't understand how he could just disappear. Somebody knows something.
Still hurts the not knowing. And stop that nobody else has to go through this.
I have other children that will say, I love you, Mom, before they leave. But we just said, see you later, Mom. But we did not see him and haven't seen him since.
Desmond Peter went missing on March 12, 2007. Ian Henry last seen in August of 2015. And Everett Jones missing since February 10, 2016. All three men vanished without a trace from BC's Cowichan Valley. Tonight, APTN Investigates takes a closer look into their disappearances. From a community seeking answers.
Our families can't close their doors to this. There needs to be closure, and the only closure we can have is finding our loved ones.
To the families left behind.
It's not right. Somebody needs to say something. And there ain't no moving on from having a missing one until they're brought home.
This is BC's Cowichan Valley, the Warmland. More than 3,000 square kilometers of wilderness on southern Vancouver Island.
It's been a real tough go. The not knowing is the hardest part. The not knowing of where they are, who they're with, you know. People don't just disappear.
Monica Patsy Jones is a Cowichan grandmother and community organizer. Today, she is taking me on a tour of the valley.
We've had family drive up and down the island with posters and put them all on, you know, every gas station, any store, like wherever we could go. We put posters up, and then we continue to try to, you know, get it out there that we're still searching.
And it's here in the small city of Duncan that the search continues. Bordering the Cowichan Reserve, Duncan is the last place where Desmond Peter, Ian Henry, and Everett Jones were ever seen.
With them missing, it's not the same. Like, our families are really hurt, really devastated. You know, it really, the emptiness is there. When we ride, we're always looking.
Jones has personal reasons for looking. She is related to all three men who disappeared. Many here on the reserve are. She is also no stranger to family tragedy.
My late sister was Catherine Teresa Joe, and she went missing in the year of 1977, January. She was missing for a lot of months, and we found her in June 1977.
Jones's older sister, Catherine Teresa Joe, went missing from Duncan in January of 1977. Her body was found 6 months later in North Cowichan, less than 10 kilometers from her front door. She had been raped and murdered.
I just remember everybody being there and just sitting there crying, because it's not the answer we wanted. It was a day that turned our lives upside down, and our lives were never the same after.
The case is still unsolved, But Jones has never stopped searching for answers. It's part of the reason that she has taken such a lead role in helping to locate her missing nephews.
You know, we want answers, we want closure. You know, our parents went to their grave without closure. And, you know, we want someone accountable for taking our sister's life. And, you know, we want answers on who took our nephews.
But as each year passes, the community is left with more questions than answers. 14-year-old Desmond Peter was the first to go missing, but he wouldn't be the last.
Desmond Peter is my son. He went missing March 12th, 2007.
It's been more than 12 years since Desmond Peter was last seen. He would be 26 years old now. His mother, Elizabeth LOUIE, remembers a shy boy with a kind heart.
He's a good kid. Regular, kind of shy. He wasn't really sociable like I was, so he's a little bit more shy. Hung around with his own certain little crowd. Happy.
LOUIE was the last person to see her son, walking here along the Trans-Canada Highway. It was only a brief glimpse, and when she returned minutes later, he was gone.
By the time we got back, we couldn't find him on the highway. So we came home right away to see if he came here. Went to his friends, drove around town, like everywhere. Was like, Mom, we can't find Des.
According to LOUIE, the RCMP labeled her son as just another runaway. And for the first 2 weeks he was missing, she says there was little effort made to find him by the authorities. It's a story that Phyllis Henry knows all too well.
My son's name's Ian Preston Douglas Henry. He went missing on 3rd week August. Be almost 4 years.
Ian Henry was just 26 years old when he went missing in August of 2015. He was known as a hard-working man with close ties to his family.
He used to be active, and he'd be biking to Victoria, biking to Port Alberni. He'd visit with a lot of family and friends, and then after that nobody hasn't heard from him.
Henry was suffering from schizophrenia at the time he disappeared. Because of his condition and his tendency to wander, family members didn't realize he was missing at first, and there was some confusion as to when he was last seen.
My kids were so hurt, and they kept phoning me and calling me, and I wouldn't respond right away because I was so hurt and lost at the time, and I couldn't even take it.
The family banded together to help locate Henry. They were still searching for him 5 months later, when 47-year-old Everett Jones also disappeared without a trace.
My name is MYRA Charlie, and my son went missing February 10th, 2016. His name is Everett Jones, Everett Russell Jones.
Jones was born with cognitive disabilities, and like Desmond Peter and Ian Henry, he was well known throughout the small, tight-knit community.
Well, he's such an important part of our family, not only to the immediate family, but out in the community. Even though his world was small, he still touched everybody that he met.
Jones had a daily routine and could be seen walking in and around Duncan. When he didn't return home at his usual time, His mother knew something wasn't right.
It was just so unusual for him to be away overnight. So I was worried, very worried. But I also hoped that he was just went to visit a friend. So I kept saying, I can't fall apart. He might have been at a friend's place, but I didn't think so in my own heart, yeah.
The RCMP, along with search and rescue, conducted land, air, and water searches for weeks, but nothing turned up.
Everybody misses them around here because they all played a big role in our community. They're all happy-go-lucky, friendly people, and then them disappearing has really hit our community hard. And just wanting to find them and wanting to bring them home is what we want. We're up at the Stone Church. The Stone Church is where we grew up as children. This is our home ground. This is what we call our stomping grounds.
For the families of Desmond Peter, Ian Henry, and Everett Jones, time is at a standstill.
We searched all these areas. We went everywhere, just hoping to find them. That's all we can really do is keep the faith going and keep it moving until we find them, until we bring them home. That's what we want to do right from the beginning. We said we will not stop until we bring them home.
It's been over 12 years now since Elizabeth LOUIE's 14-year-old son, Desmond Peter, vanished without a trace. More than 12 years of waiting and searching for answers.
It's taken years to get this far, to be able to even say my son's name without falling apart. Every day I wake up hurt, scared, don't understand. And I wake up like this every day.
LOUIE was the last person to see her son, walking here along the highway that cuts through the city of Duncan. She still passes the busy intersection nearly every day. It's hard not to. It's less than 5 minutes from their family home.
When I first start driving around, I couldn't go anywhere for I don't know how long, but I couldn't drive down the highway without crying. And everywhere I go, I'm still looking. I'm always looking for him. I try and imagine what he'd look like now. I look for him all the time, no matter where we are.
Because the authorities had labeled her son as a runaway, LOUIE says that not enough care and urgency was taken with his disappearance. By the time they eventually got involved, Desmond Peter had already been missing for 2 weeks.
The RCMP just slated him as a runaway, and they kind of had a hard time even getting help from the police because they really had him categorized as a runaway child. And they kept telling him he wouldn't do that he always checked in with them and, he always made his way home.
The family has received a number of possible sightings over the years, but none of them have been confirmed. And while Elizabeth LOUIE still prays for her son's safe return, it's hard for her not to fear the worst.
They've taken my son. They've taken 12 years of what could have been a happy life. They've taken, everything. And they know something, and the least they could do is say something. Anonymously even, anything. So that we can find my son, find our other missing loved ones. I don't wish this upon anybody.
Other missing loved ones like Ian Henry. Henry was only 26 years old when he went missing in August of 2015.
Just straight down the river here. That's where he used to fish.
His uncle Terry Joe was one of many family members who took part in the search efforts.
Worried and hurt. It just happened so quick when my nephew went missing. And we kept doing it for a long time and nothing.
The Cowichan Valley itself is huge. Over 3,000 square kilometers of dense forests, rivers, trails, and back roads. Easy to get lost, and also hard to know where to start looking.
That was hard because had the whole family looking up and down the island. We had family looking in Port Renfrew, Port Hardy, in Victoria. Had a lot of family biking, riding around all over, and then we still didn't see him.
The Cowichan River runs directly behind the family home and was one of Ian Henry's favorite spots. When he first went missing, the family covered a lot of ground here, with no luck.
I took it pretty hard because me and my brother are 9 months apart, and we always did everything together. I really fell when the family told me about it.
SARS didn't do a search until maybe over a month, almost 2 months after he was reported missing. So, I don't feel like the urgency was taken with care.
It's a sentiment echoed by many of the family members we spoke with. When 47-year-old Everett Jones went missing in February of 2016, his mother, MYRA Charlie, waited at home for her son to return. She's still waiting.
I didn't leave the house just hoping that he would get home eventually, but he didn't. So I didn't leave the house. Somebody had to be here, I thought, because he always comes home.
Jones had a daily routine that took him through the city of Duncan. It's a path his older brother, Eric, has walked many times since the day he went missing.
People wonder, I often wonder, what happened? Did anybody see him? Does anybody know where perhaps he could be? Of course, we've asked all around the community. He was very well liked in the community by the people that did know him.
This surveillance camera captured the last known image of Everett Jones. It was taken from the Bank of Montreal the day he went missing. He was last seen here at an area of town known as the Mound.
We're so close to where he lives. I believe on a good day it was less than a 3-minute walk from A to B. So even on a bad day, it might have took him 7 minutes to get home from here.
I kept hoping that he would come home, some miracle he'd come home, but also I had that dreadful feeling that something terrible happened to my son. So very, very traumatic, and yet try not to fall apart. Because have to keep going, even though inside I did not feel strong, because that's my baby missing. Big part of me is missing.
Family ties here in the valley run deep. For Cowichan Tribe's chief William Seymour, Desmond Peter, Ian Henry, and Everett Jones aren't just missing community members. They're also his nephews.
Everyone is connected in one way or the other, so we have very close family ties. When we look at the issue of not having answers of where the missing are, our families can't close their doors to this. There needs to be closure, and the only closure we can have is finding our loved ones.
Some community members believe that the disappearances are connected, and there are similarities. All three men were Cowichan Tribe members and known to wander around the community. Both Ian Henry and Everett Jones had mental health issues, and both disappeared within 5 months of each other. There is a growing fear that the men were preyed upon.
People are coming onto the reserve, driving through, trying to look at picking up our young girls or young boys, and the threats that are made, it's there. How big of a crowd that is, I don't know, but there is a big crowd out there that would like to do away with my people.
We reached out to the RCMP for comment and updates on the cases, but were told that they weren't able to provide us with anyone to speak with. In an emailed statement, they went on to say that there is nothing to indicate that these files are related in any way. The North Cowichan Duncan RCMP remains committed to finding answers for the families. It's been more than 41 years now since Catherine Teresa Joe was found brutally murdered on the outskirts of Duncan. Her death and the disappearances of Desmond Peter, Ian Henry, and Everett Jones are still felt throughout the community. The families still hold on to the hope that they might one day find answers.
I carry a prayer in my heart that we'll bring them home, and we're not going to give up until we bring them home. You know, however long it takes, and however long it takes to find out who did this to my sister, we're not going to give up.